We have a verdict. We have a verdict. Come in, come in. It's time. The time has arrived. Oh. Come in, yay! Hi, tidy girl. It's loud in there. Loud. Come in, come in. Woo-wee. Hey. So this is a really interesting time. So it is 7 o'clock, just after 7 o'clock their time. They stayed super late for this. So I'm really, hey Solo, I'm really interested. I know me too, Cassie. I'm really interested to see what this verdict is going to be. I know, it sounds like a party. I'm sure they're pretty tired there. I think I'll start a poll while we're waiting and get to my screen. Darn it. I lost my own screen. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Please remember to thumbs me up as you come in. I would appreciate that. Yeah, I missed it too. They did apparently ask a question in chambers, Megan, but that was a few hours ago. I did post something on my community tab. Has it not shown up? Really, yeah, I'm gonna make sure my post on my community tab showed up. Yeah, it did. Okay. This shall be very interesting. Alrighty. This is the pins and needles time. Pins and needles. So it's 7 o'clock their time. And since I've started streaming trials on this channel, I'm pretty sure this was the longest deliberation, and I know deliberations have definitely gone longer than this one, but this is definitely the longest I've waited for a verdict since I've started streaming on this channel. Um, and it's also, I think, the first time I've seen them go late into the night. I mean, this particular court, they've been leaving early every day. Let's see how that poll is doing. We've got 79% guilty, 12% not guilty, and 8% hung jury. Very interesting. Gosh, this is the first time. This is definitely longer than Jennifer's. Definitely longer than Jennifer's. Yep, it's the same time in Michigan, Megan. You know, I think they might have had a tougher time, and there's one main difference between James. There's a few main differences between James and Jennifer, and one is Ativan for you, and you get an Ativan, and you get an Ativan, and you get an Ativan. Definitely late for a verdict, but there's two main differences I saw with James and Jennifer. One is that Jennifer was the last person to handle the firearm, and she's the one who didn't secure it, right? However, James is the one that went to the shooting. Sorry, to the firearm store with with the shooter to buy it, and I don't know. It's really hard to look at. That they're both parents. They're both equals in terms of the parenting. You know, theoretically, they're equals in terms of the parenting. So it would feel weird for her to get a guilty and for him not to, unless they had much more evidence about her direct involvement. He must be pooping absolute walls of bricks right now, I would imagine. Also, that is true, Tidy Girl. Moms get blamed more for the kids. But she also tried to put a lot more blame on him. She really claimed that it was his job to deal with the firearms, and that it does tend to be, stereotypically the man's role is dealing with the weapons. I think that's fair, Solo Stock. That's fair. um, yeah, I understand, Daz, and welcome here. I don't think I've seen you here before. Yeah, this is a really. I am very on the fence about where this verdict is going to be. I know what I would vote. I would vote guilty. I would. And I know that, some of you don't agree with that, but that is what I would vote. Because I see them equally as negligent in their duties. Yes, I'm going to I'm going to stream the Madeline trial. They just announced that the Stephen Stearns is going to trial in May for the charges that they just charged him with. It's a super duper hard case for me to even look at because of my own past. But I also feel kind of like a duty to cover that for her. Yeah, I agree, Tidy Girl. So yeah, the one thing I did notice is I am also interested in covering the oh, he's got a door opening. Here he comes. He looks a little peaked. I don't blame him. Yeah, that did come fast harvest. I agree. Where are we at on the poll right now? You got guilty, 82%, not guilty, 11%, hung jury, 8%. Okay.
All right, court is now in session. The Honorable Shirley Matthews presiding.
He always puts the tie on after he comes in, Peggy Girl. He can't have a tie in jail.
Your Honor, calling People versus James Crumbley, case number 2227999 FH.
Thank you, Mark. Case on behalf of people.
Karen McDonald, Lena.
Excuse Your Honor, Marielle Lehman on behalf of James Crumbley.
Mr. Crumbley, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right, you can be seated. I want to indicate, first of all, there was a question the media was dying to know about. I'm going to read that into the record. I consulted with the attorneys who answered the question, and so then I sent the question back in. They agreed on the answer. The jury asked, please define Article 16.13, bullet number 4, define willfully neglected and grossly negligent. The lawyers agreed to answer the question. Please see jury instruction 16.18 for the definition of gross negligence. All other definitions are contained within jury instruction 16.13. I also want to point out that there's a request by the media to ask the jury members if they would be willing to remain in the courthouse and be questioned off camera. Because there would be a verdict and no other defendant pending trial, I would have been willing to do that. But the courthouse closes at 4:30, and I have continually imposed on the courthouse for the sake of this trial and the other one. I cannot impose on the staff for the deputies any further. I also want to indicate that with regard to case number 22279990 FH, the People versus Jennifer Crumbley, there is an order restricting pretrial publicity. It was entered on July 14th, 2022. That order will be set aside as soon as the verdict is read. I will also be issuing an order that will obviously not be made public in the courthouse until tomorrow morning. In addition to case number 22279989 FH, the People versus James Crumbley, the same thing. The order restricting pretrial publicity was entered on July 14th, 2022, and that order will also be set aside as of the reading of the verdict. Are you ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the moment of question. Moment in question. Probably like, come on now, hurry along with it. He looks like he's about to cry.
All rise for the jury.
Hello, Kathy.
Good evening. Be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've worked very hard, and we've all been awaiting your decision. I know this was a very intense decision for you all to make.
That's true, Harvey.
I believe you've selected a four-person. Who's a four-person? You're the four-person. Could you read the verdict, please?
Each count.
Sure.
Count one, involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Count two, involuntary manslaughter as to Tate Meir. Guilty of
Shaking his
involuntary
head.
manslaughter as to Tate Meir.
He looks mad.
Count three, involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana.
It's almost
Count
like
four.
he's smirking.
Involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling.
Here you go.
Thank you. For
Guilty.
I'm going to ask this morning's before the jury. So she's going to ask you each.
Jury in seat number 1, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 2, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 3, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 4, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 6, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 7, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number 8, was that and is that your verdict?
Look at them holding
Jury
in
in
their
seat
shit
number 9,
there.
was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Idling.
Jury in seat number 11, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
They're
Jury in seat number
shaking.
12, was that and is that your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Jury in seat number 13, was that and is that your verdict?
It is.
Jury in seat number
Yep.
14, was that and is that your verdict?
Justin Schilling's dad right there.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I know how hard this has been on all of you just by reading your face. I know this has been a very hard decision, and we appreciate your time. I'm going to ask you to return to the jury room, and I'll be there with you in a few minutes, all right?
All rise for the jury.
All right, you may be seated.
That must have been tough for
Bond
that
is
jury.
now, sentencing will be April 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. I'll allow both sides to speak to the jury if they're interested. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
If everyone can just remain seated.
All right, so they've set the sentencing date for the same day. Ooh, yikes. They've set the sentencing date for the same day as Jennifer Crumbley. I'm just going to turn this down a bit. His face is a bit red there. Yeah, I mean, it's 4 counts. So I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it's got to be at least 10 years per count. I don't know for sure, though. Don't take my word for it. I remember from Jennifer Crumbley's trial, the the number 10 years per count strikes me as the number, but it sounds like he's looking a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Indignant there. That was the first time I really saw him looking a little snotty and indignant. He was shaking his head. I'm actually going to go back to when they read the verdict because it's instructive.
Mr. Crumbley, can you hear? All other definitions are contained with, would be really tricky to how people that. The jury asked the definition of complete loss by the media of to separate.
Count 2, involuntary as to Madison.
All right, here we go.
Count 1, involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Madison Baldwin. Count
Looks
2,
down,
involuntary manslaughter
looks
as to
disappointed,
Tate Meir.
shakes his head.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Tate Meir. Count 3, involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Hannah St. Juliana.
He gets like a smile on his face.
Count 4, involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter as to Justin Schilling.
Thank you, court person. I'm going to ask Ms. Williams to pull the jury. So she's going to ask you.
Yeah, so he looked mad. He looked angry. He doesn't show a heck of a lot of emotion. You have to really read it in the shade and the shades of his, face, and but you could tell that's basically what I'm taking from it. Even though he wasn't as snotty and aloof and self-absorbed as Jennifer carried herself, he's still not taking responsibility. So he was crying for himself and his son. So that's what we got. That's right. There are no winners in this situation. The silver lining is that potentially it could change people's future behavior, right? It's a deterrent. So anyway, I thank you all for being here and for hanging with me during this trial. Next week is the Robert Tellis trial. I did a live stream last night on my other channel, for those of you who are interested, on Checkmate Humanity. And I talked about how I want to open up my channel for Chroma Court for those who are having disputes. It ought to be interesting to see if people take me up on it. But I mean it. I want to help people have happier, healthier lives on the internet, and maybe it could help and it could save the court some time from hearing from ridiculous pro se litigants who just want to prove themselves right in a silly issue and then have content for it. Just make content on my channel. Just kidding. Anyway, have a great rest of the evening. And, I'm sorry I can't answer your questions about, whether it would be consecutive or or whatever, because I'm not a lawyer and I don't know Michigan's laws, but we'll find out when they are sentenced on April 9th. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Remember to hit the thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Talk to you later. Oh, up to 15 years in prison if there's a minimum. Yeah. All right. Have a great evening. Bye.